that. You need to do that one.
Hey everybody, Steph here with your weekly live cooking demo. I am officially changing to Thursday instead of Tuesday because Tuesdays are just crazy. We have several activities, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Our goal is to get this done within 30 minutes. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with some fall style beer bread. What I mean by that is we're going to add a pumpkin hard cider to this. So our beer bread is really easy to make. It's just literally the mix in a carbonated beverage. So it could be Sprite, ginger ale, regular beer, whatever you, sparkling water, sparkling juice, whatever you like. So we're going to actually use a pumpkin cider, a hard pumpkin cider for our beer bread. So it just takes 12 fluid ounces. So you want can, bottle, whatever you like. You just pour that in, and you're gonna bring it closer. You guys can kind of see that fizziness, right? And then we're just gonna go ahead and mix that up. And grab a scraper. This is our new anniversary scraper for anybody who likes to collect scrapers from here for Chef. Our new anniversary one in honor of our 45th anniversary. Alright, so this beer bread is super easy. Everyone loves it. And if you use alcohol, don't worry, the alcohol will cook off. So it's safe for your kiddos, your whole family. The alcohol just helps it kind of bring up the flavor. It acts like the yeast in a bread, right? So it helps the bread to rise and give it that bread-like stuff. So we're going to mix this up. We haven't tried this with the cider, so it'll be interesting. And you'll make sure it's all mixed up. You get all that powder mixed up. Done. Super easy. 2 ingredients, all done. Spray your loaf pan. I like using my stone loaf pan. You can use any loaf pan you want. If you want to save on dishes, you can use an aluminum loaf pan. And we're going to go ahead. Our oven is preheated as well. I love these plastic mixing bowls because they're super easy to clean. So I kind of made this, so this is probably going to be a little bit denser than what we're used to. That's alright. So this, I'm hoping this will give it a little bit of a pumpkin flavor to it. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit, make sure we get it all in there. Perfect. And there we go. We're going to put it in the oven once our oven beats and our beer bread is ready to go. Dish number 1 ready to go. Next, we're going to work on our chicken. So I have 2 chicken breasts here. This will give us about 8 to 10 pieces of chicken. Then we're going to go ahead and dip in some milk and toss in some Ritz crackers, and then we're going to bake them in the oven. And we are going to bake them, let me think, on a stone pan. Okay. So first we're going to go ahead and cut up our chicken. Let me make some room here. So we're just going to cut these into like little strips. If you see any white stuff on your chicken, you feel free to cut it off. That's just extra fat that you don't need. Unless you want it on there. The fat in meat typically gives it moisture, lots of the moisture helps to add the flavor, helps it to cook nice and tender. But sometimes chicken has a little extra on there, and so it's okay to cut it off too. But if you want to leave it on, that's totally up to you. Whatever you and your family prefers. I like using a chef's knife for my raw meat because they're nice and sharp, and the blade is wide, so you have a less likelihood of cutting your fingers. But you use what you're comfortable with. If you want to learn about more knife skills, put it in the comments. I would love to help people learn how to be safe in the kitchen. So if that is something you're interested in, put it in the comments. I would love to hear it. And also put where you're viewing from. So I'm kind of just quickly, basically just one stroke with a knife through the raw chicken. Okay. You guys over here can't really see that well, sorry. Alright, so you literally put the blade on and one strong stroke right through, and you basically cut. Also, you might have to go through a second time to get to the bottom. Chicken was best to cut at any point during the cooking process. What the easiest way to cook it is when it's partially thawed and still partially frozen, because it's not going to squirm as much. And when the chicken squirms, there's a better chance of the knife slipping. But if you're cautious and paying attention, which is very key when you're using a sharp knife, you should be fine. I'm just going to toss that little piece. Make sure as soon as you're done with your chicken, you throw your knife in the sink and you wash your hands with hot soap and water, because chicken is known for bacteria. And if you don't get rid of it, if you don't wash your hands, whatever, you can cross-contaminate and get it on other things, and thus getting sick. And you don't want you or your family getting sick. So just like when you have the flu or someone has a cold, you want to wash your hands, sing the ABCs at least once, and you're good to go. Make sure it's hot water. Kids struggle with that because they don't like hot. Because they teach them hot is not good when it comes to the stove, but when it comes to washing your hands, we need to teach them otherwise. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and lightly spray this with some cooking spray. We're going to move our beer bread once we're finished with that. We're going to move this out of the way. We're going to be cooking our chicken on that in a moment. Alright, we're going to use some milk. I'm out of eggs. Normally I like using eggs for this type of thing. If you want, you can use butter as well. So we're going to make like a little assembly line here. Super easy, super fun. Grab a fork. Alright, so you can take your chicken, dip it in the milk. You want something that's going to make the red stick, so you can use butter. I said I normally use eggs, but I'm out of eggs. Okay. Press it down into the ritz. Use the fork if you want to. And toss the chicken. And you get a beautiful piece of breaded chicken. Put it on your pan. Once you fill your pan up, it's ready to go. Super easy, super quick. Fun. If you have older kids, they can definitely help with this. While you're cutting the chicken, they can start doing the dipping it and breading it. The Ritz crackers are your perfect combination of breading. Let me tell you why. They're buttery and salty. So, if your kids love Ritz crackers, if you love stuff that's salty, buttery, crispy, this is definitely your go-to. And it's fun to learn. You know, you could use anything you wanted to bread your chicken. It's super easy. You just got to get creative with it. You just need, again, that moisture to make it sticky, make the meat sticky. And then you need that breading, whatever that could be. So you use Cheetos, Fritos, tortilla chips, breadcrumbs, other types of cereal. Have fun with it. Let your kids decide. Obviously within reason. We don't want to do like candy or something, but I mean, I'm sure there's some candy that would taste good on chicken, because just about anything will taste good on chicken, right? But let me know, what is your favorite type of chicken? Whether it's breaded, grilled, baked, casserole, soup. Let me know, hear it in the comments. Okay, I'm actually surprised this milk's actually working really, really well. Last time I did this, I used butter, and I will tell you that the Ritz crackers did not want to stick very well. But the milk's doing really well. So I'm proud of that. See how quick and easy that is? And I'm putting my hand underneath it just so it doesn't drip off. That's okay. You can see our bread has risen a little bit from that yeast interaction between the cider. It has risen, definitely. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the oven. And that's going to cook for about a half hour or so. I'm going to clean my oven out, so that's alright. So I'm going to put that in for a half hour, check on it. Actually, I think it's less than that now. Let's do 20 minutes. Oops. Alright, 22 minutes. Start. Good. Alright. That's okay if that gets done earlier. It's totally fine because bread, it can cool off, whatever. Alright, so I put about, I think, 3.5 packs of crackers in here. I smushed them up with a rolling pin. If you have a meat pounder, tenderizer, hammer, whatever you want to call them, that'll work too. Anything you can, your kids, if they're angry, let them pound on it. Just make sure when you pound on them to crush them up that you put them in a container, because the bags will open, the bags will crack, the crackers will rip the bag, and it will make a mess, right? So you want to make sure that you do it in an enclosed container. I'm using aluminum pan to save on dishes as well. And that way it's easy, or just to toss as well. I don't have to scrape them, whatever. Now keep in mind, because you are using raw meat, that the crackers and the milk is going to be contaminated. So especially the milk, you want to make sure that you only put as much as you think you need. If you have a little extra, you're not going to be able to drink it. Because you don't want, again, those germs, that bacteria that may be on the chicken to enter into your family and make your family sick. So anytime you use anything that touches raw meat, you do need to get rid of it, throw it away. It might seem like a waste, but until you do it a couple of times and you kind of get an idea of how much exactly you need. I definitely think I have a little too much here, but that's all right. Yeah. Super easy, super simple dinner. Done in 30 minutes. Breaded chicken is, it seems like it's messy, but it's fun, especially if the kids want to get involved. My kids are not having a good day today. My 5-year-old just having a really rough day. My daughter is just tired from being at school. She admitted, she comes off the bus and she's like, Mommy, I'm really tired. I'm like, okay, like go rest, go whatever. So it's been a week. Let me know how your week is going. I'd love to hear it. I know it's been a hard week for a lot of people, I feel like. For the world in general, you know, it is what it is, but that's why we have each other. That's why we have communities to encourage and support each other in those rough times. So make sure if you are struggling right now with everything that's going on, you reach out to somebody to talk to, whatever. Because I don't want anybody to suffer. Suffering is no fun. Alright, so we're almost done with our chicken, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with our zucchini. So if you wanted to, you could actually use this for your zucchini as well. The reason being is because you're going to cook it, right? So as long as you're going to cook it, that bacteria, those germs, will cook out and will go away, and you'll be perfectly fine. If you want to double dip it, if you feel like you're going to have enough, you can. It'll give it a little bit extra coating, more flavor. Squish it down a little bit. If you're running out on your room, the next thing is you can always squish chicken together. If you want to use your fork and kind of punch a little holes in the chicken as well, get that milk in there. The milk's going to help, again, lock in some of that moisture, help bring out the flavor, the butteriness of the crackers. I'm trying really hard not to drop them on my floor. Alright, so we got 2 more little pieces of chicken here that we're going to go ahead and toss. And then we'll get started with our zucchini. And the zucchini, I'm actually thinking I'm just going to do on the stove. Now it can get messy too. So this is, again, a fun, creative, different type of meal that you could do. No, I have a whole box of Ritz crackers. No one's been eating them. And honestly, I'm out of breadcrumbs too. So that's part of it, why I'm doing it this way. But last time I made this, everyone fell in love with them. It's just something different. It adds a little bit extra flavor, and you don't have to season them. You could season it if you want to. What will go really well with this is everything seasoning. Yeah, so if you have an everything seasoning, that would go really good, I think, with this dish. You would put it in, mix it in with the crackers or the milk, and it would taste amazing. My kids are not big fans of when I season food, so I didn't think about that, but hey, this works. I love their Ritz crackers. Alright, done. Chicken is done. I'm just going to move this and wash my hands. And then we're going to do our zucchini. And we're moving right along though. Super exciting. That just took me like 5 minutes to bread all of that chicken. Again, it's messy, but it's quick, easy, and simple. And everybody who does not love a good breaded chicken. Alright, so we're going to put the milk away so it doesn't go bad. And then we're going to go ahead, and I think we're going to do the zucchini. Oh, we're going to throw the chicken in the oven. I'm going to put this for, I'm going to try 20 minutes. And then we'll go from there and see what happens. How do you know when chicken is done? Clear juices. It falls apart with the chicken, with a fork when you cut into it. And so forth. Chicken honestly does not take that long to cook either. That's why it's so versatile. And that's, I think, why it's one of the #1 meats in America. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and with our zucchini, I'm going to grab a knife. And then let me grab a pan now. So I'm going to use, a stainless steel frying pan for a zucchini. There's wipe off some of these crumbs here. Alright, so we got two zucchini here. I should have some in the fridge. I should probably use some too. Let me grab that. Alright, so we're going to do something very similar with the zucchini that we do with the chicken. Why not use it and not waste it, right? So if you can do that with multiple items, then that's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and dip in our zucchini. Now, definitely with the zucchini is a little bit harder than your chicken. So you do want to make sure you get that milk inside of those edges there. And again, press it down, get those crackers nice and on there. Just gonna let them sit in the crackers for a little bit. Zucchini again is very similar to chicken, in that it's very versatile. You season it with about anything, do almost anything with it, and you got a perfect, yummy vegetable ready to go. That is guaranteed to be loved by everybody. You may mostly use zucchini for frying or for zucchini bread. I make zucchini bread every year. I made a dozen loaves already this year. Actually, I made more than that, I believe. And I probably can make another batch at some point in the next couple days. But we'll go from there. Alright, again, this is super easy. Let me know what tips you have for stainless steel pans, because I'm still trying to figure it out. I've had the stainless steel pans now for a few months, and I'm still trying to figure out how they work, and how not to get the food stuck to our pans. It is crazy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to lightly spray our pan, and we're going to preheat it. Alright. Hey Linda, thanks for watching. We're doing some chicken, zucchini, and beer bread with a pumpkin fall twist. If you want to, you can have fun with the pumpkin, with the fall theme, and add the pumpkin spice to the chicken or zucchini. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think. I don't want to go that far with it personally, but there are people that would. Alright. People do put pumpkin spice on their vegetables. Hey, what up, floats about? Okay. So our pan is preheating. I'm going to go ahead and get this moving. So you see how nicely, it didn't really stick to the zucchini like it did the chicken, but that's alright. We'll make do with it. It'll still cook. Basically, you're waiting for your zucchini to get nice and soft. Basically, you should be able to bend the zucchini in half when it's all done without it breaking and coming apart. You don't have to bread zucchini. The breading just gives zucchini doesn't really have much of a natural flavor. So that's why it's typically fried or done in like a different format. But if you like that bland, non-flavor vegetable, hey, good for you. And have fun. This is just to give you some additional ideas to help make mealtime fun, interesting, and ideas to help get your kids involved if they so choose. You never want to force your kids in the kitchen, because then they're going to grow up with regression and be like, my mom forced me in the kitchen, I don't want to be in the kitchen, whatever. So my kids ask to do a video, I step in and say, okay, then let's do a video. If not, it's totally cool. So with anything, right? We don't force people to do stuff. So, all right, almost done with our first batch of zucchini. And then we might get into cut the second one up. Again, the Ritz crackers are a good choice because it adds a saltiness to it. And adds that nice buttery taste to it as well. You know how you guys like to enjoy zucchini? Or what other vegetables you would like to try this with? Love to hear it. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm going to try to dip in this a second time and see if that makes a difference here. More of that burning on. A little bit. Not too much of a difference. So. It's starting to sizzle, so we know our pan is nice and hot. I don't think I'm going to make much more zucchini than what was already cut. Because last time we had like a bunch of leftover. So I might only cut off a couple more pieces here. So I'm using this nteiyEQMZ163ce0 knife. So this is a Japanese style knife. That you can use for just about anything. They use it mostly for, I think, like fish or seafood, vegetables. Basically, it's kind of a chopping knife. That's basically what type of knife it is. If you have any questions about, again, your knife skills, let me know. I would love to help you figure that out. We're all about learning and educating here. Alright, big piece of cracker that didn't get mushed. Alright, so I'm out of my pan. So we're going to let those cook. And move you guys over here. You guys want to see what is going on. There's my stove. So here are the zucchinis. They're cooking in our pan here, stainless steel pan. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions or need anything from Pampered Chef. We just had our new products launch. And I would love to share it with you. Have a great day, everyone.